Hello everyone, it's Jacob with the Game Block. This past Tuesday, the Nintendo Switch OLED model was announced, and today, I'm going to be talking about everything we know about this new console, and what makes it different from the existing Switch. First, let's start off with things that were directly referenced in the trailer. Most of the OLED model's new features are in handheld mode. Starting off with, of course, the OLED screen. This means that all of the pixels are self-lit instead of having a single backlight, meaning that the colors will be a lot more vibrant and the brightness of the screen can go much higher. There's now a new kickstand, which is now much wider and bulkier than the original, allowing more support for the Switch when propping it up, as well as it can now bend at nearly any angle, so you can prop your Switch up however you like. There are now better speakers on this Switch, allowing for enhanced audio. How this audio is enhanced is, as of now, unknown. However, we'll hopefully get more details soon. There's now a new dock for the Switch OLED, and it looks much sleeker than the original, and comes with a few new features. The dock now has a LAN, or LAN, port, which, if you don't know, is basically wired Wi-Fi that is typically better than the wireless version. Previously, on the original Switch, you had to buy an adapter to be able to connect your Switch to LAN, but now you'll be able to do it straight from the dock. However, the LAN port did replace one of the USB ports on the dock, so you won't be able to plug in more than 2 USB devices without an adapter. And finally, the last thing we get from the trailer is the release date, October 8th, which is actually the same day that Metroid Dread comes out. So it's possible that there could be a bundle with this console and Metroid Dread, however, Nintendo has yet to announce that. Now, that may be all that was in the trailer, but we still have yet to make a visit to Nintendo.com. On Nintendo's website, it says that the OLED model will have 64GB of storage, twice the amount of the standard Switch. And though the Joy-Con themselves don't seem to have undergone any sort of change, the Joy-Con straps now have a sort of white fabric woven into them. We also get to see that the Switch OLED comes in 2 variations. One with the white dock and Joy-Con that we saw in the trailer, and another one with the neon red and blue Joy-Con and a black dock, resembling the original Switch. Both of these models are $349.99, which is $50 more than the standard Switch. If we go to the comparison screen, we can see that the Switch OLED is approximately 0.1 inches longer than the standard Switch, as well as 0.05 pounds heavier. And if we go into the full specs, we can see that the regular Nintendo Switch dock is actually 0.03 pounds heavier than the new one, as well as 0.12 inches deeper. And in the gallery, we get a nice shot of the top of the Switch OLED, and there are a few differences between this and the standard Switch. First off, the game card slot does not have rounded edges anymore, and it's much more rectangular. The headphone jack no longer has a plastic outline. The top vent now has more openings, though they are smaller. The brightness sensor has been moved to the top next to the screw. The volume buttons are longer, as well as they're 2 pieces of plastic now instead of just 1. And the power button is now a rectangle with rounded corners instead of a circle. It's also worth noting that the Nintendo Switch logo on the back of the Switch OLED is slightly smaller than the one on the back of the normal Switch, as well as all of the information on the back of the Switch has likely been moved to under the kickstand because we cannot see it in this picture. It has been confirmed that the resolution for handheld or docked mode will not be increased, so it will still be 720p in handheld mode and 1080p in docked mode. We also know that there are no performance increases in this console, so games will run exactly the same as they would on a standard Switch. This means that it has the exact same amount of RAM as the standard Switch, but curiously enough, Nintendo has released a dev kit that has 2 extra gigabytes of RAM, so a Switch Pro may still be coming in a few years. And speaking of the Switch Pro, all the leaks about a Switch Pro were likely about the Switch OLED. The Switch OLED might not have a 4K dock or 1080p visuals in handheld mode, but it definitely is a step up from the standard Switch. If Nintendo plans to release a Switch Pro, I assume they'll do what Sony did with their PlayStation 4 Slim, PlayStation 4 Pro, and their original PS4. What they did was they eventually phased out the original PS4 after the PlayStation 4 Slim had been out for a while, and then they rebranded the PlayStation 4 Slim as the PS4. Then they released the PlayStation 4 Pro. I think eventually the Switch OLED will be rebranded as the normal Switch, and then they'll announce a Switch Pro. And finally, the last bit of information we have on the Switch OLED is that it might not be fully compatible with Nintendo Labo. The larger screen might make it hard for Labo VR to work, as well as the slightly longer console might make it hard to fit into the Labo kits. Hopefully the length won't be that much of a problem, and hopefully they can just release an update that crops the screen for the Switch OLED to be the size of the normal Switch when using Labo. And that's all the information we have on the Nintendo Switch OLED model. If you liked today's video, please press the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it's free. And also you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter for more gaming news and streams. With that out of the way, thank you all for watching. I'm Jacob with the Game Block, signing off.